The vibes.
The vibes. The Columbo for the vibes is what you're saying?
Yes.
How much of Columbo have you
I've
seen?
seen like an episode.
I've woken up to episodes of Columbo because I'll keep Hallmark movies and mysteries on at night because it's soothing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of not background music on that show. It's silent. I'll wake up to like ASMR.
Yeah.
Of him like fiddling around a crime
scene. Is the mic even on?
It is on. Can I do some ASMR right now? See, I don't have my headphones in, so you can't bother me with that anymore.
Aww.
You can't get me anymore.
Oh, that's sad.
Welcome back to the Kill Your Normie podcast, where we go deep on nerd culture and pop culture because it is that deep. What did you say?
Yeah, it's deep. It's deep.
Yeah, it's deep.
Yeah, it's deep.
I'm Lindsey.
I'm Red.
And this is the Kill Your Normie podcast.
Hello.
Woo!
They should know that. It's the title.
They should know that it's the title. You're adults, you should know that.
You're adults, you can read.
Yes.
Or if you're blind, well, we just told you, so...
Yes, welcome back to the Kill Your Normie podcast. Last week was fun and games. This was, like, maybe slightly more...
Now we gotta lock in.
Now we gotta lock in just a little. This week we were talking about adult animation. Animation has been in the conversation.
Yes. Animation geared towards adults. Let me put it that way.
Yes. Animation geared towards adults, or that has been appealing towards adults. Maybe not necessarily... made for them, but adults are picking it up. We also have a super special fluffy guest today.
She's monitoring us.
Mimi. She's currently lying on the floor behind us because...
Do you have words for the audience, Mimi? No, she just tilted her head.
She tilted her head, that's about it, yeah. But yeah, so this week we were talking about adult animation, kind of what makes a good adult animation, or just what makes a certain... work of animation appeal to all ages.
Yes.
But before we begin, should we start with headshots and hyperfixation?
Yes.
Woo!
Alright, you wanna go?
You went first last week, so I guess I'll go this week. Not that we really have a method to this. Okay, I have a hyperfixation and a headshot. So the headshot, you and I actually just witnessed before we hit record. We watched the new Knives Out Wake Up Dead Man trailer.
I want 10 of them.
I love the Knives Out franchise so much. Like, this is one franchise that is allowed to do as many movies as they want, as far as I'm concerned. That's how we ended up on the Columbo.
So long as Daniel Craig... like, wants to wear his cunty little outfits. Like, it's fine.
It's fine. I can do, like, 6,000 Knives Out. We need to rewatch, like, the first one, because, like, that one is so good.
And Glass Onion.
And Glass Onion, yes. But I think the first one is still, like, the better of the two. But, yeah, so the new Knives Out trailer came out. This fall season of movies is gonna just be so stacked.
We also, I think we have a 5 Nights at Freddy's coming out this year, too.
Oh, okay.
That's not necessarily my headshot, but I'm just like, I think I heard something about that recently.
Yeah, and then my hyperfixation, as everybody in my life knows right now, so I have gone back to the podcast The Thrilling Adventure Hour, which was at peak popularity in, like, the mid-2010s, around, like, Night Vale era, but I recently went back to it because I wanted something that gave old-time radio vibes. And so I was initially not a fan of this podcast when it was out. I don't think I jived with, like, the live recording, probably because, like, the quality was lower. I just don't think I was accustomed to, like, live shows at the time. But, so I recently went back to it, and I only knew, like, one segment from that show, because they have, like, a bunch of different ones, and each month it's a different installation of whatever... or installment, I should say, of, like, whatever segment it was. So all I knew was Beyond Belief, which was about, like, two, like, very rich 1920s, like, paranormal investigators, played by Paul F. Tompkins and Petra Brewster. It was called Beyond Belief. And I'd not heard anything else. And then one week I tuned in, and it was a space western called Sparks, Nevada, Marshall on Mars, which is what it sounds like. If you've seen The Good Place, which you have... the guy who plays Sean the judge is Sparks Nevada doing like a very gruff voice. It's very funny. I've just had the best time, and I subscribed to the Patreon just so I could binge it all in order instead of having to find each episode and do it like that. And that has been, I haven't been able to do anything else.
Amazing.
I've just been just binging it at work, in the car, in the shower.
Of course.
In the mornings when I eat breakfast. It's become my whole life. I've got the graphic novel, like, in a thrift books cart right now. I'm waiting for, like, I did a buyback from them, so I'm waiting for that money to hit, and then I'm buying it. I am obsessed. I learned the theme song on guitar. It's bad.
Excellent. Excellent. Glad to hear it. So I've got two, I got hyperfixation, I've got a hyperfixation / headshot. So my hyperfixation, I've been on an Epic the Musical kick, which is a retelling of the story of the Odyssey. If you're online, you know what Epic is.
Yeah, I think everybody knows what Epic is.
But for anyone who doesn't know, it's a retelling of the Odyssey done through basically musical form. It's a series of like 9 concept albums. The whole thing's like 3 hours long. But it's really, really good. I enjoy it. The music's great. The creator's really awesome. It's Jorge Rivera Hernandez, I think that's how it's pronounced. Yeah, really, really good. Good music, good story, good cast. Love it. The news / hyperfixation is Hollow Knight Silk Song was released after 7 years, crashing the Steam eStore, the Nintendo eShop, PlayStation Store, and the Xbox Store. Humble Bundle ran out of keys, like, within an hour, which is, like, impossible. This game was, it was $20, and it is one of, like, the most concurrent players on Steam. It hit 500,000 players, I think, at peak, which is, like, insane behavior for a single-player game. But it's been really good. I'm really bad at it, because it is a Metroidvania, and I'm terrible at them, and I was never good at Hollow Knight in the first place. But it's been very, very good. The music's great, the art's great, the combat, when it hits, it hits. I'm only in, like, the deep dock, so I'm not even that far in, but, like, it's been a really fun time.
Nice.
So, today we're talking about adult animation, and as our mom put it, what do you mean?
Yeah, when we say adult, she's like, when you say adult animation, what do you mean? And I was like, what,
not porn. Not porn.
Not porn. I think that's what she thought it meant.
Yeah. Not bashing our porn creators. We love our porn creators, but, like, we're talking about basically animated TV mostly. TV mostly, where the aim for audience is adults.
Yeah.
Basically the 20 and up demographic.
Yeah.
Or, like, we're talking a little bit about, like, ones that go for, like, the teen and up.
Yeah.
Like young teen and up.
Teen, yeah, but they still kind of span the age group.
Probably, I think, the most prototypical, when I think about, like, adult animation, like, just standard, Simpsons was adult animation.
Yeah.
Family Guy's adult animation.
This is stuff that aired at, like, prime time, where it's, like, okay to swear a little bit.
Yeah.
This was not airing during daytime hours. Although...
This was you're after work and you're having a beer.
Yes.
TV.
At least in the old school cable world, yes. This was aired at night for older audiences.
Yeah. And nowadays you kind of have the shift where, like, now there's being... A lot of, like, again, when you think of the standard, it's Simpsons, Family Guy, etc., etc. I think the turning point, though, is BoJack. When we talk about when the reality of, like, the variety of adult animation that's in...
Yeah, when BoJack Horseman aired on Netflix.
Yes.
Back in 2014?
Yes.
2015? So when people initially think of adult animation, usually what they are thinking of is what is called the animated sitcom model. When something like The Simpsons goes to air, they are looking for the same tropes that you would get with a
live-action sitcom.
A live-action sitcom. It's that...
bumbling dad, the beleaguered mom, the really smart daughter, the dumbass son. It's standard American family fare.
It's very tropey.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what they were doing. Simpsons was initially a Christmas special.
Yeah, Simpsons was the trope kind of codifier for all of this.
It was. And so with Simpsons, you get stuff like... I wouldn't say Family Guy was... inspired by The Simpsons, but Family Guy has the same thing. It's still the bumbling dad, the beleaguered mother. The kids, I think, fall out of stereotypes a bit.
Like, they go in and out. It really depends on the season.
There's no like real commonality with those characters. Yeah. I think what's interesting about new Family Guy versus like maybe 90s Family Guy is that like everybody in that family has their own brand of insanity.
Yeah.
Like where they can they can be the straight man one week and the other person's insane, and then they can flip it the next week.
Yeah.
It's just there's no consistency there. Then you've got right now on the Animation Domination lineup, which airs on Sunday nights, that's like the Fox lineup. That is where you see your Family Guys, your Simpsons,
your American Dads.
Your American Dads. Basically Seth MacFarlane's entire paycheck.
Yes.
That is kind of what you're thinking of when you think of traditional adult animation. Currently, there is what I'm referring to now as the A-Team and the B-Team. I do follow the Animation Domination lineup pretty closely because this past year's season was really oddly scheduled.
Yeah.
Bob's Burgers just wrapped up this current season and is about to premiere a new season.
Yeah, we follow Bob's Burgers pretty closely because our mom watches it with us.
Yeah.
So.
And you and I follow The Simpsons, and I'm what they call the cruise ship director in my home because I follow all the air schedules for all of our shows, so we know when a new one comes out. But they've got basically the A-Team and B-Team going on right now because they had to split their Animation Domination lineup into 2 days over the summer because there was a bunch of backlogged episodes for Simpsons, Great North, and Bob's Burgers that needed to get aired before the season in the fall. And then they have these other 3 shows. I don't know what... So there's something called Universal Basic Guys, which I think is... I'm going to spout an opinion, and I know we try to be nice and be like, a person made that. It is the worst goddamn show I've ever seen in my life.
I've not even heard of this. So.
It's... You know, it's fine. Like, I don't think... I thought it went off the air. I didn't think it would survive. It has survived. It is truly, like, so many steps backwards in terms of, like, adult sitcom humor. It is like your basic like bumbling dads kind of thing. But they're not even and it's so male focused, but it's not even like in a King of the Hill sort of way. Like it's
King of the Hill's another was
Mike Judge's stuff is good. I mean, you could talk about like Beavis and Butthead, all of that stuff. Daria, which was more teen, but that's, you know.
But again, those are older. So
Yeah. So you've got that, Bless the Hearts. There was also another show called House Trained. I think it's about pets.
A lot of these we have not seen.
And again, like, this is why it's the B-Team. Crapopolis is the only one that, like, sticks in my mind just because it's set in a very clear time and place. It's like an ancient Greece kind of thing, and it's got a pretty stacked voice cast. But they were airing on the Sunday nights during the summertime, and then Bob's Burgers, Simpsons, and Family Guy got pushed to Thursday nights, and now it's going to switch back. And so this is what I'm talking about, the animated sitcom model. Now, while Simpsons hits those tropes perfectly, where they expand a bit, they let them get a little bit more nuanced with time.
They've been around for 30 years. They can afford to go meta with it.
Family Guy does
whatever the fuck it wants.
Bob's Burgers, I think, definitely managed to shift because Bob's Burgers predated BoJack.
Yes.
In 2011. So Bob's Burgers, I think, managed to push the tone of an adult animated show, because also, and we can tie this actually into some of these Adult Swim shows. So Bob's Burgers is created by Lauren Bouchard. Lauren Bouchard is known for home movies on Adult Swim. It has a very similar animation style to early seasons Bob's Burgers, maybe a little rougher. The acting is very improvisational. H. John Benjamin is in both of these casts, and it's his style of speaking that really kind of sets the tone for all of it.
Well, it also has to do with, like, the original pitch for Bob's Burgers, too. The original pitch for Bob's Burgers was a lot darker.
Yeah.
It was Sweeney Todd, but, like, burger shop.
But burger shop, yeah.
So, basically, it was human meat. It was human meat. And because the first episode of Bob's Burgers is about Louise making the rumor that they have human meat in their burgers. They don't. By that time, it had become just, like, a normal sitcom.
It was a normal family-run restaurant, and that's, like, the sitcom, and Louise creates a rumor that it is human meat. And so you do get to play up some of these dark things, but also it is an adult sitcom. In the early seasons, so currently with our dad, I am watching Bob's Burgers with him for the first time. He has not seen it before. He's seen one episode. We've shown him the soccer episode, just because that
he was our soccer
It was based on a true story that happened to him. And so watching the early seasons with him in succession now, you do see it. you start with kind of like, it's not even like a bumbling dad, beleaguered mom, but they are kind of mean to each other in the early seasons, and the kids are a lot stranger.
Yeah.
And I do notice it has become a bit more grounded with time, but you don't, like, lose what makes the show funny and what makes the show great. But it's a family that genuinely loves each other. It's not a family that, like, at the end, after doing horrible things to each other, they're like, but we love you guys. Like, there's no... Bob's Burgers also doesn't have, like, a reset.
Yeah.
Even though, like, nobody ages and, like, nobody...
Louise has been 10 for, like, 10 years.
Louise has been 10 for 10 years. There is still threads to follow throughout the show, even though I wouldn't necessarily describe it as serialized. Whereas the same thing, like, Simpsons has a continuity as well.
Yeah.
South Park has a continuity as well. Yeah.
But even then, like, it's not super fat. Like, it doesn't matter too much. You can still kind of drop into a Bob's Burgers episode and kind of know what's going on.
They toe the line really, really well.
Yeah.
And then this kind of voice spills over into the Great North, which is by the same team.
Which we love.
And I do find, like, again, the jokes and stuff are very quick and very smart the way it is in Bob's Burgers. However, I wouldn't say Great North is a carbon copy at all.
No,
like,
it's a very different vibe.
It's a very different vibe. It's a very different type of family. And even, like, we were saying, like, even though the art is the same, the palettes are different.
Yeah.
Where Bob's Burgers is very much primary colors.
Yeah.
Where, like, the Great North gets a lot of blends and mixes. And,
it's
like,
very vibrant, actually.
It is very vibrant. And also, because, like, Great North is set in Alaska. So they do all these great Northern Lights things and sunsets and nature stuff. Like, they do a lot of really great stuff with that.
You can gaze at a bear.
Wow. We do sing the theme song all the time. Bring back theme songs on shows, please.
Like, real theme songs.
But then when you think of something, so, like, I mean, Family Guy is a theme song, but, like, Family Guy I don't think has, like, too solid a continuity. I mean, we know that Mayor West has died because the voice actor died. There are a couple characters who did, like, permanently die because their voice actor died.
Which I don't mind.
Like, when Cleveland got his own show, he left for a bit, and now he's back when the show got canceled.
Yeah.
Like, there's some continuity things, but that show hits a reset button every time.
Yeah. If, like, Meg loses a limb, then she has the limb back by the end of the episode, usually. Yeah. But then, like, if we want to talk about, like, weird shows that have kind of a reset button, Adult Swim.
Yeah, Adult Swim, and Adult Swim, like, you could kind of file in the indie category, but also it is still technically network. It is part of Cartoon Network's umbrella, even though Cartoon Network as a company doesn't really exist anymore.
Don't remind me.
I know, but Adult Swim, because it does not air at prime time, it airs in the middle of the night. You get away with a lot more. I was exposed to a lot more strange art because I watched Adult Swim.
I mean, you had, like, Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Squidbillies.
Yeah.
Metalocalypse. And Moral Oral.
Yeah.
Moral Oral, which, like, Moral Oral also was such a specific audience, and, like, if you have a chance to watch Moral Oral straight through, do it. It's so good. You'll only do it once, though, let me tell you, because that's a rough watch. But it's so aimed at a very specific person, because the concept of that show and the design of all the characters are based on these old school cartoons called Davy and Goliath, which were religious cartoons, and Moral Oral is a look at religion and, like, America and American values, and they look like Davy and Goliath. And I remember when Dad just happened to be in the room when I was watching it one day, and he even was like, oh, Davy and Goliath, and then he watched the rest of it with me. Like, it's a very specific person who was raised a very specific way.
And our dad was raised pretty religious, so...
Yes, and our dad... Hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad!
He listens.
We love you!
This is not us roasting you, we're just giving context. Yeah, so there's things like that. Home movies, I feel like, is also a very specific, like...
They have a very
audience.
specific art style there where they all look like they're wearing pajamas.
They do. Everyone's in a onesie.
Yeah.
Like, every character is in a onesie. And then we've got, you know, your newer ones like Rick and Morty or Smiling Friends.
Which Rick and Morty was okay in the early seasons. I fell off of it.
I fell off of it after, Justin Roiland was fired.
Basically, after season 4, I kind of fell off.
Yeah, I can't really speak to the quality
Yeah.
of the newer episodes. I think I maybe watched, like, the first episode with the new voice actors.
I've heard they're alright. I've heard they're okay.
I've heard they're okay.
But it's not the same.
There was something, and, like, Dan Harmon, the creator of Rick and Morty, he's also known for things like Community, which is something I also really like.
Oh, yeah, Community's great.
It's the storytelling was there, the philosophical ideas were great. There was once I think Justin Roiland left and he was fired for good reason.
Yeah, but no, fuck Justin Roiland. Let's put that on record.
He was fired for good reason. You can't deny that was part of the voice of the show, literally and figuratively. And so I do think it fell off a bit. I've heard it's okay. I don't think it will ever hit the heights that it did before.
Do we want it to hit the heights that it did before?
I don't know if we do. I don't want another Szechuan sauce incident.
Yeah. But the one that we like that's newer is Smiling Friends.
Smiling Friends, which is not serialized. There's not a continuity.
It's just stupid.
It's just stupid, but it's like, it's funny in a very specific way, and this is what I mean when, like, Adult Swim sort of knows the exact type of person they're aiming it at. This show just, like, reeks of very specific mid-2000s YouTube humor.
Yes.
Like, it's
in the best way.
This way. Like, this is something, like, our parents would not understand.
Yeah.
But, like, kids our age, and I say kids even though we're in our mid to late 20s, like, this is the type of humor that just absolutely cracks us up, like, uncontrollably.
I also think that, like, one of the nice things about Smiling Friends is that the whole premise is basically just, like, we're a company that wants to make people smile. Even if it's in a really fucking stupid way.
Yeah, it really does make you smile sort of against your will.
Yeah. And the characters all have very, very distinct kind of attitudes and personalities and looks. They all have distinct looks.
And like, the voice acting is also so distinct to the point where everybody does impressions of the characters.
Yeah,
like,
and a lot of a lot of it feels improv as well.
Yes, a lot of it feels very improv. I have, like, shown clips to people who have no concept for the rest of the show, and they crack up laughing. Like, out of context it works, in context it works.
And they're like 15-minute episodes. Like, they're really short.
They're really short. New season coming out end of the month. Woo! Yeah, so we've got these, like, great kind of experimental
comedies.
They're comedies, yeah. I mean, Rick and Morty has some sad moments. Home movies, I think I watched that straight through too, and I never found anything highly devastating, especially since it's from the eyes of, like, a kid, and his parents are divorced, and he kind of tries to, like, work through his issues by making literal home movies. And so that one wasn't particularly devastating. Moral Oral, incredibly devastating. But like, the thing about these shows is they're also very much, something like Rick and Morty or a Moral Oral are very much slow burns when it comes to their emotional stuff.
They start as comedies.
Comedies, and then they slowly just, like, eat away at your soul.
Like, that's usually how adult animation happens. Like, if we're talking about, like, standard Western adult animation, it tends to start out as comedy first, and then it rips your heart out later. And I think the best way we can, like, depict that is, if we go to, like, to the binge model now, BoJack Horseman.
BoJack Horseman, I think, did Rick and Morty predated BoJack.
Yeah, predates BoJack by a few years.
If it didn't invent the model, it perfected it. I do think Raphael Bob Waxberg and Lisa Hannah Walt, who were the creator and art director respectively on that show, just do that so well. It's the writing on BoJack is unmatched.
There's quotes from that still, like, ring in my head.
Yeah,
like, daily.
There's still things that ring in my head, and it was really hard to, like, get people to watch it, because I remember seeing, like, the poster for it on Netflix. I don't think I ever saw a trailer, and I looked at it and I thought it was just gonna be, like, another Family Guy, another kind of, like, dirty cartoon kind of thing, and my friend had to be like, no, you don't know what this is, like, you need to watch it.
Yeah.
And I did, and it's, again, genuinely funny, and it gets funnier the older I get. I don't think there were jokes in that show I was getting at, like, 15.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
it's an adult comedy.
It's an adult comedy. There are very specific jokes that he's making that are very much, like, aimed at, I think, Gen X people. Like, but, I mean, as I'm getting older and I learn who these people are and the references they make, it's funny to me now. Also, it's a showbiz comedy as well, and as someone...
You love a showbiz comedy.
I love a showbiz quantity. I love a showbiz comedy because, showbiz is so fucking absurd. Like, it's so much high stakes bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, it's so, like, the stuff that people care about in show business is so silly. And, like, I think BoJack really does, like, highlight that so much, and how life and death, some of this dumb shit feels.
I mean, like one of the early episodes, it was, like, not to get, like, really, really political and, like, weird, but, like, Sextina Aquafina who was, like, this, like, pop star who ends up, like, getting an abortion or something, like, faking an abortion.
She fakes an abortion.
For the
sake of, for the sake of educating people on abortion.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, it's a very strange episode. I thought you were going to talk about Sarah Lynn.
Oh, so we won't talk about Sarah Lynn.
Well, because Sarah Lynn gets introduced the same time as Sextina Aquafina. We're just saying, if you don't know the show, we're just saying words at you right now. But Sarah Lynn is an examination of kind of, like, I think of her as either, like...
She's a Britney Spears.
She's a Britney Spears type, basically, where she grew up as this child star, very cute kid, and then, like, hits adulthood and has to, like, totally flip the switch into being sexy.
Miley Cyrus, even.
Very Miley Cyrus. I see it as, like, Olsen twins. I see it as Britney Spears.
You just see it happen again and again.
She like, hits the, She is that child star turned, like, very corrupt, very... Lindsay Lohan is also another...
Jojo Siwa, maybe a little bit, for a modern example.
Jojo Siwa doesn't have a drug problem.
Fair enough.
No, this is, like... When I see this, I see Lindsay Lohan and specifically the girls of the 2000s who fell into these pitfalls. Yeah. And they do talk... And they go into the nuances of it, and it's played for laughs. But
until it isn't.
Yeah. And this is the thing where, like, a lot of it can be like, haha, dumb Hollywood bullshit, until it's not. And it's... I think I liked it a lot, I think, because it also humanizes that industry a lot. Because, again, there's a lot of stupid bullshit in showbiz that people care about that it's really not that deep.
Yeah.
But some of that creates very real world problems. And as even with, like, all of the child actor stuff that's coming out now, where people are like, yeah, actually,
that was bad.
That was really bad.
Yeah.
I think it's stuff like that is really, really helpful. And then you get, a spin-off like Tuca and Birdie. I wouldn't even call it a spin-off because it's not in the same universe.
No, it's just,
that was Lisa Hannawalt's show. It's a similar art style, but it's not the same world. Raphael Bob Waxberg, I think, maybe was a producer, but not a story person on that. That was very much more day-to-day stuff, but it was very women-centric. Because it was very women-centric issues that were being studied there. And again, it was fun and it was goofy, but then there were moments where it was very much not.
But again, humor's what lets you in.
Humor's what lets you in, and then you get connected to them. So when stuff does happen, you feel it with the right amount of impact.
Yeah. And now we have Long Story Short, which I have not seen. So
I can talk about Long Story Short, even though I've been talking most of this time.
Yeah.
Long Story Short is the BoJack team's new show on Netflix, which is basically the story of this Jewish family told through multiple decades. Like, they will a whole episode will span, like, from the 2000s maybe to, like, the 2020s. So you do start to kind of build a timeline together, but they do a lot of flashback and flash forward. It explores kind of the idea of generational trauma. It explores the idea of memory and like how one person might remember an experience, but somebody else will remember it a different way. There are instances where we see one side of a thing in one episode, and several episodes later you see the other side of it. Getting to see them as kids and then getting to see them as, like, adults with children, or seeing where everybody ends up, or, like, there was, like, a certain thing where, like, someone was with somebody else in a marriage, and I was like, you're gonna get divorced. And, like, in the next episode, it was, like, a good 5 to 10 years later, and I was like, they're divorced. Like, you could just see the signs and things, and then you get to see moments where, like, one of the characters is no longer with us, and how that affects things, and you find out what happened in the years in between. The team at Ternante, which is the, I think that's how it's pronounced, Ternante Entertainment, that's the team who did BoJack. They're really good at doing the family generational trauma thing. Everyone will talk about the episode of BoJack Times Arrow.
One of the best episodes of TV.
And The Old Sugarman Place as well, which opens that season. Season 4 is really great when it comes to the family trauma stuff.
Season 4 is probably their best. Like, all the seasons are good. All of them are good.
Season 4 is my favorite.
is the best. Like, everyone's favorite.
It's got some of the best writing, I think, in Season 4. And I think Season 4 famously was completely rewritten because that show was pretty consistent in putting out seasons every year until 2016. After the election happened, rewrites happened. And so the show came out much later in 2017, and I think that was the right choice. Like, it just worked, and it was one of those instances where it didn't feel like it was overwritten or over messed with.
It also put my friend in Wesleyan the same time as Hollyhock, so...
As the character of Hollyhock, yes, very cute. Then we can talk about, like, and I don't have experience with this other show. This is another Netflix show that has gained popularity. It was Big Mouth, which I think just had its final season.
I don't even know.
I understand. Big Mouth was something I could never really get into. I understood the conceit.
I know John Mulaney was in it.
It's John Mulaney, Nick Kroll.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people in it. I find, like, with Nick Kroll and John Mulaney, I do see a lot of the same usual suspects, like, around them in casts. Big Mouth, where I personally found, like, the animation style kind of ugly.
Yeah.
And, like, I just wasn't really a fan. I don't know if you've ever tried to engage with it.
I had never tried to engage. I just found the concept kind of personally gross, not necessarily in a moral sense. I don't like thinking about that. I just don't like thinking about it.
Like your body. You don't like thinking about your body.
Well, I have a dissociative disorder, so, you know, that's part of it. But, like, it's just more that, like, I'm just like, I went through puberty once, I don't need to think about it again.
Yeah.
That was more of that. The art style just also wasn't appealing, but that's something that's pretty common with Western adult animation, where the art style is not necessarily super appealing in just, like, an artistic sense.
And like, we did talk about this as, like, a theory as to almost make it not respectable, but, like, to make it very clear to people that this wasn't for children, was to make it look kind of ugly.
Yeah. And I think, you know, tying that kind of, the art style debate kind of ties into the indies that are coming out right now. Because we have a lot of shows that have either very, very similar, like, yeah, I wouldn't say, like, Bob's Burgers has the same art style as, like, Meet the Hearts or something like that. But there's
Bless the Hearts.
Bless the Hearts, or whatever the fuck it's called. I've never seen it. I just know the name of it, and I know the art. Like, it's such the quintessential, like, adult animation art style. Mm-hmm. It's, like, the round eyes and just, like, the weird faces. And if you've seen it, you know it. Whereas it's very flat. It's also very, very flat. Whereas then, if you go into, like, a lot of the indie space that has adult independent animation, I mean, the two biggest ones right now are going to be Has-Been Hotel and Amazing Digital Circus, which, again, their art styles aren't appealing to everyone, but when they are appealing to someone, they are appealing to someone, and you can tell what they're appealing to. Whereas a lot of these adult animation cartoons, they just seem to be going either for a generic ugly style or something that's so completely palatable that it's bland. Whereas you go into something like Has-Been Hotel, which has a very, very distinct movement style, has a very, very distinct, like, shape language in all their characters.
There was something, like, when I saw that show for the first time, I was like, I know exactly the kids in high school who vibed with this.
Exactly.
Like, I could see, like,
this is a Hot Topic cartoon.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, in a good way. But, like, when you talk about Has-Been Hotel, like, it appeals to a very, very specific demographic. They know who they're appealing to. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's easy to make merchandise for it, because you know who you're appealing to. It's also really, really easy to just kind of, like, you know who to recommend it to. You're not just gonna, like, Bob's Burgers you can probably recommend to anyone off the street.
Bob's Burgers, I feel like, has sort of fallen into that, millennial taste.
Yeah.
Like The Office has.
Yeah.
Although I wouldn't really compare the two as, like, the same, but it has that same feel-good vibe to it. Like,
almost nostalgic.
There's something nostalgic about it. Also, I think because of the fact that, like, the electronics are very absent in that show. The kids are always on adventures outside.
Yeah.
There's also that sort of collective, and I'm going on a tangent here. There's that collective, tribal taking care of the kids thing, because that town is so small that everybody knows each other.
Yeah. And they all have beef with each other.
Yeah, but you know all those characters. Like, I know why the woman at the art shop hates Bob. I know why
Mr. Fischoeder keeps asking them for weird shit.
I know why Jimmy Pesto is such a jackass. Like, you know, all this stuff. So, yeah, like,
whereas with, like, something like Has-Been, you can't recommend that. I can't recommend that to Mom.
No, Has-Been Hotel, like, yeah, that's such a specific style. Also, like, if you don't have any theater kid sensibilities at all.
Oh, yeah, you're not gonna
like it.
Yeah.
You're just not.
It was actually very, very funny talking to my friend about who Christian Borle is, and she did, like, it went right over their head. Like, I'm just like, no, it's a big deal that they had, like, Alex Brightman, Christian Borle, like, all these really, really big names, and they're just like, I just don't get it. I'm just like,
Because you're not a theater kid.
You're not a theater kid.
Yeah, you don't understand, like, the implications of all this.
And then you have something like Amazing Digital Circus, which I recommended to you because I thought you'd like the writing of it, but you find the art style overwhelming.
It stresses me out.
Yeah. The art style is very, for those who don't know, it's very, like, point-and-click adventure game for children.
See, you know what it reminds me of?
What?
And this is probably incorrect. This is based off the few glimpses I have had where I haven't felt overwhelmed. The literally Tin Toy, like that first Pixar short. Yeah. That's what it reminds me of, and that stresses me out probably because I've seen better since.
I mean, it's when you actually watch it, it's like very fluid. It's not like Tin Toy at all, but it's very, very fluid. But the art style is meant to be like very evocative of like these early 2000s, like your educational games. Like remember like we used to play like the like first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade games. Like they were like they were Scholastic or something like that.
Maybe I can't.
There was like one with a robot girl, like an evil scientist girl, and she kept trying to make me draw fish, and I would draw her a fish, and she would get mad at me.
I don't know this game at all.
Oh my god! Okay, the game ruined my life as a kid. But anyways, it's done in that very early 2000s style, except all the characters, save for one, are basically adults who are basically forced to play this game, and they're all like basically now they're all just archetypes. But they all deal with very, very real issues. They deal with, like, emotional issues, with abandonment, with loneliness, with you could even say dementia at some point, because one of them's, like, older and he's not all there. But they deal with very, very adult issues, and they even have, like, one where they talk a little bit about who they were before they were here. And they're just like, yeah, I would, like, the youngest is, like, 25. Like, these are adults dealing with adult issues, basically, but being forced to play children's games about it. And it's very, very smartly written, and the art style is so specific that, like, you know who it appeals to, but it's still an adult cartoon. I wouldn't necessarily call it a children's cartoon. There's a lot of kids who like it, which is, like, fine. I think that a lot of the reason that, again, like, going back to, like, the ugly versus appealing art style thing, a lot of kids do like Has-Been and Amazing Digital Circus, maybe because it looks appealing, and a lot of adults just... I mean, there's people who like Bob's Burgers, but I wouldn't say that they're super diehard, like, Bob's Burgers, like, decorating their backpacks and everything.Maybe there's a few out there.
In the mid-2010s, I remember, like, Bob's Burgers fandom was a thing.
Yeah.
But not so much anymore.
Yeah. It's...
Like, Tina, specifically, I feel like, would get buttons and things.
Yeah,
like,
but that was also very millennial core.
Oh, very much. That's what I'm saying. Mid-2010s, people in their 20s at that point.
But... yeah, with Has-Been, people are just like, oh my god, why are there 9-year-olds going to Has-Been? I'm just like, it is an appealing art style to, like, these kids, and, like, let's be honest, your average 9-year-old loves violence. Like, let's just be real with each other. That's why they like Five Nights at Freddy's.
There's also something about Has-Been that I think mocks Disney a little.
Yeah.
Especially in the way they've cast Charlie.
Yes.
Like, her vocal type.
Yeah.
Erica Hennison is a Disney princess.
She is a Disney princess. Yeah, like she is literally the princess of hell. That's literally her...
yeah,
that's
so,
her whole
so
bag.
there is, like, a Disney-esque vibe to it, just a little darker.
Yeah.
So I think I can see where that appeal would come from.
Yeah. But I think a lot of these indies are just kind of, like, they're filling a niche that wasn't kind of... that's been absent in Western animation, where it is kind of, like, an appealing show that also still talks about issues. Because, like, I like BoJack. It doesn't have the most appealing art style.
No.
And not to bash Lisa Hannawalt.
Well, if you look at her graphic novels, it's still the anthropomorphic animal thing, but it's much... there's more depth to it.
Yeah.
Obviously, with animation, you sort of have to strip some of that away, I think, sometimes.
And it's puppet animation, too, so the animation range is limited.
Yes.
But, again, it's not the most appealing art style. Whereas something like Has-Been Hotel can be very, very appealing to a certain demographic. I mean, it's just correct, can be very, very appealing to a certain demographic. But then we also talk about kids. There's also, like, kids' cartoons that are picked up by adults as well. And I think that kind of ties into, like, Adventure Time, Regular Show. A lot of the Cartoon Network shows, some Nick shows, there's some Disney shows that are also picked up by people. But, like, the ones that I see, like, people my demographic watching, even for nostalgia purposes, is, like, Adventure Time.
Yeah.
Regular Show. Avatar.
Oh, yeah, Avatar and Korra.
And Korra.
And everyone's really excited about the new one that's coming out.
Yeah, and Gravity Falls.
Yeah.
And Gravity Falls as well. And but there's also, like, children's shows that don't get picked up by adults. like there's certain like just like Disney XD-esque shows where it's just like you might watch it like when it's on just to watch something stupid, but not necessarily.
Yeah,
like...
there was one they put out recently called Stugo, and every ad for it, I could never figure out what it was supposed to be. And I think I did watch an episode, and I was like, it's okay. Like it looked different than some of the stuff that was on, but I just really didn't find myself connecting, or even just thinking, oh, this is kind of cute.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's a show that I like on Disney called Kif. I wouldn't necessarily.
I like Kif.
I like Kif. But I wouldn't necessarily call it, like, a show that's enjoyed necessarily by every adult, or could be enjoyed by every adult.
Like, I remember seeing ads for their, like, Lord of the Rings parody that they were going to do, which was, like, Lord of the Ring Light or something, and the idea was that the ring light was, like, so powerful it made you so gorgeous, like, you just couldn't, and they would, like, this was clearly written by people who knew the Lord of the Rings movies really, really well, and even the ads for it made me chuckle a little, because I'm like, this is just so clearly made by people who knew their references.
Yeah, it's love.
You could tell it was made with love, and the fact that Disney allowed it is crazy to me, that they had an entire special that's just a Lord of the Rings ripoff.
Yeah, but it's still not a show that I see get picked up a lot by adults.
No,
and again, you might see something different in like 10 years or so when like the kids who grew up with it then are nostalgic for it.
Yeah.
But something like Adventure Time, which was so long running.
Oh, yeah.
That was like 10, 12 seasons. Yeah. Of like...
And we got like a continuation in 2022, 2023, Fiona and Cake, which like aged up all the characters and grew with you. Like, it was crazy to me being like, oh, we're swearing now? Okay,
I guess we do that now. But like Adventure Time is still like brought up. Like early seasons are still very like kid friendly, and then the later ones it's like he loses an arm, he like nuclear warfare, Princess Belle becomes a war criminal. Like it's
like stuff gets very serious, and I think it is that thing of like they coaxed you in with these cute, colorful little stories. Yeah. And these very cute... I love the fact that Adventure Time has its own language, almost. Yeah. Like, its own slang.
Yeah. Schmauzow.
And also, like, little musical moments that just stick in your brain. Yeah. To, like, bacon pancakes will still...
Bacon pancakes.
Bacon pancakes.
Make some bacon and you make it in a pancake.
The fact that is stuck in our brains forever now. Like, Again, that's like another thing that's made with love, and you picked such adept voice actors, and like it just so good. Then you have stuff like Korra and Avatar, which are very much adult issues all the way through.
Yes,
while still having
it's literally about genocide.
It's about genocide and war and like racism, kind of.
Racism.
Racism. I mean, you through Taft you get like a lot of like the disability stuff. Like it's so good. And I never felt like, because when we watched these for the first time over both Avatar and Korra over 2020, I never got the sense that it felt almost too overwhelming for kids. I felt like it was just enough.
The funny thing is that our mom wouldn't let us watch it as a kid.
She doesn't remember this, but she saw us watching it when it first came out. Yeah. And she was like, this is too violent. Yeah. And it was even like the first couple episodes. We didn't even get to the Southern Air Temple yet. Oh yeah, like we missed out on so much. And Avatar was the thing when I was growing up. Like the boys in my class wanted to play Avatar at recess all the time. Yeah. Like so we missed out, which is why we set out in 2020 to watch all the shows we missed. Yeah, and then I made my own little Avatar OC kind of continuation version of it. And then they announced a continuation version of it, which has a lot of the similar stuff that I was using. So I'm not saying they read my mind and plagiarized me, but I'm also not saying that. But, and then you have also something like Gravity Falls, which we've talked about a lot on the podcast. But like, that show was only 2 seasons, but like, Alex Hirsch is a great writer. Yeah. Like, Book of Bill came out. And they specifically just like, this is for older readers, guys. Don't like, let your kids read. But I mean, like, you could get that to a 13-year-old. I don't think they would care. I don't think they would care. Kids see so much worse nowadays. Yeah. But, yeah, there's, like, stuff that, like, is quote-unquote for kids. Even, like, regular show, which I would love to go back to now that we're adults. Because that is a show about adults. Who have, like, a crappy, menial job. If you watch the early episodes, it does feel like this was originally pitched for Adult Swim. It feels very grown up. Yeah. Like, it just in the way that they speak to each other, the things that they're talking about, the things that they have, like, the money to do. Like, it's
It feels like it was originally pitched for Adult Swim and then forced kind of into the kids block.
Which didn't... But it never broke that tone, though, so it was really interesting. And I think Cartoon Network sometimes didn't have, like, a ton of eyes on them all the time. Or there were certain things that maybe the censors were more concerned with, like Steven Universe. Like, they didn't seem to care about some innuendo stuff, but they really cared about whether or not Steven Universe was gay or not. Like, it was...
Well, Steven Universe himself wasn't gay. He had a girlfriend. But
I know nothing about Steven Universe.
Yeah.
I know Gemstones, and I know...
Ruby and Garnet.
Like, one song.
Not Ruby and Garnet. Ruby and Sapphire, who make up Garnet, were gay. And they that was the issue.
Yeah.
That was the biggest issue.
Actually, like...
She was the blueprint.
Here's the thing. I actually didn't pick up on any of that when I watched it.
Because they had to tone it down so much.
Because everyone's like, they were gay. And I'm just like, I'm not getting it.
I'm
not getting the vibes that you guys are getting.
It was forced down so much.
It was forced down so much, which made even the ending to me feel a little bit.
Well, the thing is, we're also coming from it when it came out in 2014. It was groundbreaking. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, it's commonplace. Like I'm just like didn't go far enough, and it's just like, well, they couldn't go far enough. It was 2014.
See, to me, they didn't even seem as particularly close as people saw it. To me. Like, maybe till, like, the tail end, that's what I got confused about. I was like, I feel like they don't even share as much screen time as people made it seem like they did. I'll have to watch it again. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't pick up on it.
Yeah, oh my god.
Don't come for me.
They're gonna come for you.
Don't come for me. I'm not against it. I just didn't see it, okay? I have other ships we can argue about. If you're listen, I loved... What's his face?
You liked Mako.
I liked Mako a lot. Yeah, he was great. Anyway, so, like, yeah, we got those, the 4 kids that end up appealing to much older adults, and you also get, like, little experimental things like Cake, which was on FX. You can actually watch all the seasons of Cake on Hulu. These were, like, I think they were at least a half an hour, if not 45 minutes long, showcases of just different animated segments. And then sometimes throughout, and it wasn't always animated, there were a couple live action things that were more like improv based, and they'd get like big stars to do it. And then they would cut together like a longer episodic thing. There's a show called Dicktown, which came from this show, which is just, he's from Richardsville. They call it Dicktown. And it's, like, a mystery thing. He lives on a houseboat. And, like, that gets cut throughout all of these other showcased things. I liked watching Cake a lot, just because just random stuff was on it, and it was really cool to see. But the reason why, like, this is so interesting right now, because if you want to think about what's the top movie at the box office right now?
K-pop Demon Hunters, deservedly so.
K-pop Demon Hunters. Which Sony had no faith in whatsoever, that they were like, we'll just dump it on Netflix. I don't even care. Something that is so oversaturated that,
it's the most watched movie on Netflix of all time.
Of all time.
In only, like, what has it been, like 2-3 months?
Yeah.
Like, no time at all.
To the point where it earned a theatrical release. And then did numbers. Like, blew the other blockbusters out of the park for the weekend it was open.
And that was something that appealed to kids. That was something that appealed to adults. That had such wide appeal, and they're just like, no one's gonna want to watch a bunch of Asians.
I'm like, dude, have you seen the anime explosion?
Or the K-pop, like, K-pop in general.
K-pop is popular.
Yeah. I changed my boba tea order when I was at Gomcha because I forgot that Felix was the ambassador of Gomcha, and there was recommendations from him on the Gomcha thing, so.
Who?
Felix from Stray Kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, this is really just, like, and you talk about it all the time, you're just like, animation is not really respected as an art form.
Yeah. And, like, even I talk about, like, because Mom actually was reading off some of the Emmys that got announced.
The Creative Arts Emmys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Arcane got a bunch. And it irks me. It irks me so much. Not that Arcane got stuff. I'm glad that Arcane stuff, but the fact that it doesn't get more. Or, like, something like, there was a couple years ago when Into the Spider-Verse, or Across the Spider-Verse, whichever the second one was, didn't win Best Animated Feature. And people were upset that Boy and the Heron won, because they're like, Across the Spider-Verse is so good. I'm just like, from a story perspective, like, it wasn't the best, because, again, it's the middle
of a trilogy.
And if they're looking at the overarching thing, then even if it's technically impressive, if it doesn't have the best story, then it's not going to win. But I'm like, I think we would be less upset if we saw Spider-Verse get nominated for visual effects. Whereas, like, animated movies, shows, anything never tend to get nominated outside their category.
Yeah, well, even, like, going back to BoJack for a second, the episode Free Churro, which is essentially, like...
That is a 25-minute monologue.
That is a 25-minute monologue. That is a one-man show. It won... Will Arnett won an Annie Award for that episode, which I think was well-deserved.
No, BoJack won no Emmys.
BoJack won no Emmys. It won Annie Awards, it won some smaller stuff, but it never won any Emmys, as far as I know.
It got nominated, I think.
It might have been nominated, I'm not really sure.
I think it was actually nominated for Free Churro and then lost to Rick and Morty.
For what?
I have no idea.
Let me see, let's see, what are its...
It said nominated for 3 Primetime Emmys at the top.
Oh, where?
Nominated for 3 Primetime Emmys.
35 wins, 43 nominations total. Let's see. Okay, it won. Basically, it's big kind of a wins war. Saturn Awards, that they were a nominee for Best Animated Series on Television, Best Animated Series on Film or Television, Best Animated Series. It was nominated in 2017, 2018, and 2021.
For the Annies,
it was a 2021 nominee. It was a winner for the new client for Best General Audience Animated. It's general audiences. Not even like, yeah. And then Will Arnett won for Free Churro. 2019 won for The Dog Days Are Over. Critics' Choice. It won Critics' Choice Awards a lot. But yeah, when it came to Emmys, it didn't win anything.
Yeah.
It also was nominated for an NAACP award for voiceover performance in television for Issa Rae. She was in one episode.
Yeah.
I don't really think it was a standout for her. I think she could have won for something else.
Yeah.
And she didn't win for that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get appreciated on like this mass scale. Like it's appreciated in its genre.
Yeah.
A lot. And this is kind of why we were talking about it, because animation is so in the conversation right now because of K-pop Demon Hunters.
And Disney's scared.
Yeah. Which we've talked about before, like, you know, let's be honest, Disney's not been innovating.
Pixar neither.
Yeah,
Or when they do, they don't promote it, but...
Yeah. And then you were also talking about concerns now that K-pop Demon Hunters has hit the zeitgeist in such a way, and now they're discussing sequel opportunities.
They're discussing sequel opportunities. A bunch of the original creators have left. And I'm not sure if it was a firing situation or if it was they, like, left. I know Celine Kim, who did basically the entire art direction for K-pop Demon Hunters, left completely due to just... Essentially, she was kind of, like, her entire team was harassed by the higher-ups.
Ugh.
And I'm not sure if they meant, like, sexual harassment or workplace harassment, because this was translated from Korean. So I'm not sure if they meant, like, sexual harassment, workplace harassment. Maybe they even harassed her into getting into leaving. But if we're going into a franchise territory with K-pop Demon Hunters, and they're like, okay, we're going to take all the Asian people, all the Korean people who put their voice in here, we're going to take them out, we're going to replace them. What does that say for this franchise? And... The reason K-pop Demon Hunters hit such a strong point was because we were talking about this earlier. A lot of animated features that like make people care about them, it's because like literally someone's reaching through the screen and being like, I'm going to make you care about these characters because I care about them. We care about Rumi because the creator cared about Rumi. Rumi never like throws anything over her shoulder. She's like, ugh, it's so weird that we're like K-pop and Demon Hunter. She never does that. My favorite part was when she K-popped and she Demon Hunted all over the place. They never do anything like that. It's very earnest. It's very like, no, it's like, no, you have to buy in. We're not going to make you buy in. You're buying in. And
well, it is we're going to make you buy in.
Yeah.
It's not like we're going to be actively trying to, though. Yeah. We're going to just tell a good story.
Yeah.
And therefore you buy in.
Yeah. Whereas, like, if you take away the storytellers who made the good story in the first place, what is that going to do to the story? Especially as you go into sequel territory. Because, again, I don't mind
doing, like, a series.
Yeah.
I feel like
that's been rumored. It's been rumored.
I feel like that would flatten.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It just feels like it would be kind of a muted version of what we got in the film.
Personally, my opinion is that, while I would love 2 films in the K-pop Demon Hunter universe, I want prequels. I want a Huntrix Formation prequel, and then I want a Sunlight Sisters prequel, and that's what I want. I don't think we're gonna get that. I think we're gonna get actual, like, sequels, but I want prequels. I really want prequels. But yeah, it's just... It's basically, it's like as soon as something animated hits the prestige that, like, it usually deserves, again, people will find out any way to just flatten it and make it as palatable to everyone.
I do think sometimes when something hits its peak, and maybe this is a, like, you sold out kind of, like, maybe, you know, this kind of attitude where, like, the second it hits its peak and it becomes so in the culture, like, it does almost, like, lose its flavor a bit.
Yeah.
Even though the content of it has not changed. But the fact that, like, I can scroll through, like, fucking YouTube shorts and find, like, dance covers of K-pop Demon Hunters. Like, that's crazy to me because in my mind, I'm just like, I watched this by myself. What do you mean everybody, like, also saw this movie?
Yeah.
Like, or something like Barbie, which was, like, a great movie. And now, after a couple years after its release, there's something that feels... It doesn't feel quite as shiny anymore. I don't know how to explain it. Also because, like, Barbie, it was so heavily merchandised. Everything did a brand deal with it. Everything did...
It's oversaturation, then you get burnt out on it.
I think also, sometimes I feel like it does lose a bit of its prestige once that brand...
really gets its teeth in it.
Because similar things happening with Wicked.
Yeah.
Well, and listen, Wicked is the most universally, like, palatable musical. But, like, there is something... The Broadway show and, like, the movie, I feel like, are two very different things. It was very weird. It was kind of the way you described when, like, something that you liked that felt very niche to you all of a sudden hit mainstream. Do you, like... It changes sometimes the texture of it.
Yeah, I... Personally, as Wicked... Like, Wicked's a show that's very, very near and dear to my heart because I knew the lyrics to all of Wicked before I knew how to write my own name. So, because my mom would play it in the car all the fucking time. I've loved Glinda so much. She's a character very, very near and dear to my heart. I do not like Ariana Grande. I will not go into it. I just do not like her. So when they were just like, we're doing live action Wicked, I'm like, it should have been an animated movie. Again, tying back into animation is less prestige because it was originally planned to be animated at first. But they're like, we're gonna do a movie. And they're like, and we cast Ariana Grande. And I'm just like...
Here's the thing, as someone who has seen it, she does kill it. Like,
I don't care. I don't want her touching her. But, like, yeah, that's why I refuse to see the movie. And that's why I'm just, one of my friends saw it, and my friend hates musicals. And she's like, I really, really liked it. And I'm just like, okay, now listen to the original cast recording, please.
Actually, this is also, like, a hot take. I think Wicked needs a remaster.
Yes.
And maybe, like, a newer recording.
Yeah.
Like, the quality of the 2003, and we love the 2003. I think it just needs a little zhuzh, maybe, like, re-record it with some of the newer cast, or create some kind of retrospective album, maybe, like, Les Mis with the, you know, casts from all over the world thing. Like, something like that. I just think it needs
Every song's a different, like, alphabet.
It needs a little refresh. Yeah. It just needs a little refresh, okay? Anyways, back to the topic at hand. Yeah, like, trying to think, like, what... I think what people are really, really... clamoring for and, like, clawing for is that connection. The fact that you're just like, we care about Rumi because the creators care about Rumi. So you feel it coming through the screen. And even with animation, because it's not real people. Yeah. Like, it's not even real actors doing the thing. You've got your voice actors who are, you know, giving that performance. And
I mean, you still have, like, animation references and you still have mocap and stuff like that, but it's not the same as...
It's not the same. Yeah. And... the fact that you can make me... I'm empathizing with lines. Lines
with pixels.
With pixels. And colors. Like, that's a huge feat. Yeah. Like, it's...
I mean, that was the whole thing back in the day when Snow White came out. The fact that they're just like, oh my god, she feels so alive. She feels so alive. This cartoon from 1937. That was such a huge deal back then, and now that cartoon is no longer considered prestige. It's considered a cartoon.
And I don't even sometimes like the word cartoon.
Me either.
It feels dismissive.
Yeah. And animation, like anything else, is a medium. And there's a lot of things that, like, cannot be made outside of animation just because animation basically, it elevates certain emotions. Like, if anyone talks about, like, Ghibli movies. If we talk about Ghibli movies, because, like, people are just like, oh my god, Ghibli food looks so good. Oh my god, I want a Ghibli hug. I want to cry like a Ghibli character cries.
There's something cathartic about that animation.
It's because it's elevated. That's something you can't achieve in live action.
And that's something we said, like, something like with theater. Like, when people are just like, it's so over the top, it's so whatever. And I'm just like, but it's elevated. That's the style.
It immediately goes for, when animation is done well, it immediately goes for earnestness.
Yeah.
Because it needs to make the average person empathize with characters that do not look human.
Empathize.
Empathize with characters that do not look human. And I think that's something that a lot of, like, adult animation nowadays lacks. Whereas, like, we empathize with Bob's Burgers because, like, first of all, they make us laugh, and then, like, you know, they're a family that loves each other. We empathize with BoJack because he's a terrible, awful person, and it's fun to laugh at him. And then when he falls flat on his face, you're like, oh, that actually looks like it hurt a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
We empathize with Aang because he's, like, fun, goofy, little want to go penguin sledding, and then we see that he's the last survivor of a literal genocide.
Yeah.
Like, it's... Animation's at its best when it goes for earnestness. I think a lot of acting is at its best when it goes for earnestness. There's movies that can go for irony and still make it land, like Shrek.
Yes.
But it's rare. It is rare. And I feel like a lot of movies nowadays, especially being pushed by these major companies, and a lot of shows nowadays, adult animation shows, they just want to, like, make you laugh with a cheap joke that anyone could have told. Whereas, like, the funny parts about Bob's Burgers is when they're making jokes that are specific to these characters. It's funny when Gene uses Bob's, like, shavings and glues them to his face to look like Bob. Yeah.
It's especially with Gene as well. It's funny when he says the wrong phrase and it comes out sounding sexual, and the parents are like, "Don't say that.
Don't say that."
And he doubles down. Like,
or when Linda does her little, like, sing-songy...
Yeah, when Tina says something just, like, outright uncomfortable. Like, I love Tina because she's so, like...
She's a 13-year-old girl.
She's a 13-year-old girl. She has some insecurities, but she also has a very weird confidence that only 13-year-old girls have. And, like, there was an episode they did where, like, her, like, fanfiction notebook got stolen or something.
Yeah.
Because the person who stole it was like, I did this and it was weird and cringe and you shouldn't do it because I was embarrassed by it. And it was just, like, there was something very weird about it, and, like, Tina was very, very set in her ways and being like, okay, who cares? I like doing it. What the hell does it matter what you think?
Exactly.
And it made me feel kind of, like, good, and also a little sad for her because also she's gonna be 13 forever. She's never gonna get to grow into her weirdness.
Yeah. She's never gonna become, like, a weird woman.
Yeah, like, I feel like Tina would be such a confident adult.
Yeah.
I actually think all these kids would grow up to be very confident adults. Just the way that they are. Like, the parents, they just never... They never tamp down on what...
They never stifle them.
They never stifle these kids. And that's also really nice to see where, like, you have something like Family Guy where, like, the butt of the joke is, like, always Meg. And their excuse is that they don't know how to write a teenage girl.
Yeah.
And they're just sitting... And they act like that is an insult to themselves when really it's an insult to the character.
Yeah. And it's an insult to the teenage girls who watch it.
Exactly. So it's things like that where you get, like, The Simpsons where, like, they can kind of branch out. Like, my favorite episodes are always Lisa-centric episodes.
Yeah.
I really enjoy her. One of my more recent favorites is the one where she gets obsessed with, like, this singer of, like, a Smiths-style band, and he becomes, like, her imaginary friend. It's, by the way, it's Benedict Cumberbatch doing an incredible Smiths impression.
Really?
Didn't know it was him until I saw the credits. And then she, like, finds out that this lead singer has, like, slowly become more right-wing and, like, shitty old man as he's gotten older. And it's just funny because every girl goes through a weird indie rock phase where she thinks she's smarter than everybody. Yeah. It's just a universal experience, at least for teenage girls sometimes. And it's just, there's stuff, like, connecting to that. Whereas, like, again, Family Guy, I don't really... find myself connecting to very much. I think there was, like, one episode with Brian where sometimes I think they let him get actually earnest. Yeah. Most of the time
because he was originally supposed to be, like, the straight man character, and...
now he's just... And sometimes Stewie gets to be human sometimes.
Yeah.
But...
Lois
I've never found... I can happily say you will never find me crying to a Family Guy episode, ever.
Yes.
You will never find me crying to a Family Guy episode. And then we'll talk about, like, you'll never see me crying to South Park either, but South Park's genuinely funny. And South Park, you kind of know what you're getting going in anyway, because their whole thing is dirty humor... inappropriate, like, really inappropriate.
It's just very centrist.
Very centrist. I do think that they've come back around this season as, like, a South Park enjoyer. I wouldn't call myself a hardcore fan. But when they hit the culture right, they hit the culture right.
Yeah.
There are certain episodes where I'm like, I don't know what you're trying to say or what your opinion is, or other ones where it's very clear. Like, I just think they've really returned to their bread and butter this season. Shit's been real funny and real crazy. I can't wait to see what happens in the next 2 weeks.
I mean, the adult animated show that I'm probably looking forward to is that the people who actually behind Amazing Digital Circus and behind one of, like, the major Disney shows of the last decade, which is the Owl House, are putting out Knights of Guinevere, which I showed you the trailer for, which is basically just a big dig at Disney. Like, they've got their Walt Disney type, they've got their giant castle park that covers an entire planet, they've got their princesses and their freaky animatronics that are now, like, all bugging out. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time.
And also, like, going back to Shrek, good things come when you have issues with Disney.
Yes.
Very good things come when you have a bone to pick with Disney.
So many animated creators have bones to pick with Disney right now.
Yeah.
Inadvertently or advertently, because I know Alex Hirsch definitely has some bones to pick.
I'm very curious to see what he does next.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's currently working on or what he has in the can, but I'd be very curious to see what he does next.
Yeah.
Because there are just there's so many great, like, auteurs for animation out there, and, like, I sometimes think we should just let them cook. And they're not always allowed to cook.
Yeah. That's why we have to go indie. We go indie.
Yeah. I mean, like, I follow tons of animators on YouTube, and, you know, like, I showed you that trailer for something else that I thought was just going to be a short, and turns out it was a trailer.
Yeah.
And I like her stuff, and she does, like, she does little things about, like, technology and things. I think, actually, once I pulled up Cake to, like, look it up for this video, I think I saw some of her work in there. Because I saw some stuff where I was like, I recognize that style. I think that's her.
I mean, I watch, like, Illumation, I watch Jaden Animations and stuff like that. So there is still, like, there's still work for animators out there. Again, it really just depends on where you're looking. And I know that apparently A24, who's doing Husband Hotel, apparently treats their animators very well.
A24 has had a very good track record, especially even through the strikes.
Yeah. Well, they were, like, one of the few studios that got, like, exceptions, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they adhered to the rules.
They're just like, oh, you're doing this now? Okay. Whatever.
Yeah, no, they got waivers because they were adhering to the rules. And, yeah, A24 has been known to treat their staff and their people very well. At least as far as I know. You know, I'm not in there. I don't know the day-to-day.
Come back to this in 5 years.
Yeah, we'll see, you know, because this could be, you know, they could be a victim of shitification just like everything else. But yeah, like, I just think we're in a very interesting time right now.
I really hope animation breaks more into the cultural zeitgeist of things. At least, even if it doesn't break into, like, the boomers or the older Gen X mindset, I think as the millennial and as the, like, older Gen Z grows up, I think we're going to see more animation get kind of its flowers. Especially, I mean, if you look at the Academy Award Best Animated, for the past couple years, they've been making some good calls. It hasn't just been whatever Pixar or Disney movie has come out this last year. Because, like, last year was Flow. And then the year before that, I mean, we got Boy and the Heron.
Yeah.
So, actually, the year Boy and the Heron won, that was a stacked category.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, I would be pleased with any of these. But I think animation's finally, we're starting to see a tipping point. With adult animation. And I think it's immediately just gonna go indie. It's gonna, a lot of the stuff that's gonna go prestige is gonna go independent. But
yeah, I think we're seeing a big return to indie spirit when it comes to stuff. Because I was saying to you, I said, I think we're doing kind of a weird loop. Because it used to be back in the day, you would post to YouTube in hopes of gaining mainstream attention. And then they'd put you on TV. Yeah. Or give you a real TV job. And, like, YouTube was sort of the thing to get you there. Whereas now, YouTube, and then for a while there, YouTube was the medium. And now we're getting to a point where, like, you were talking about Amazing Digital Circus and also Has Been, that was on YouTube. I mean, Has Been has two different shows, one on YouTube and one on Netflix, and they don't really cross. But, like, the fact that they've gotten to the point where they're just like, I made this thing, I gained all of this following.
Has Been's on Prime, not Netflix.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Gained, you know, all of this following on my own. So if you want to distribute me, I don't really need you, which gives them some control. Yeah, it gives them some control. So, like you said, Amazing Digital Circus puts out episodes when they damn well please.
And they put them out on YouTube first. I don't even think the past 2 episodes are on Netflix yet.
Yeah, and like how they negotiated that, no idea. Maybe Netflix didn't feel the need to fight back because maybe they didn't have a ton of faith in it. Like, I don't know. But I think we're at a place now where, like, YouTube, yes, is a stepping stone to, like, maybe a more mainstream distribution, but there's a lot more leverage on the YouTube side.
And I think owning your work is going to become a very, very big thing within the next few years, especially as more and more companies are trying to slip AI into development processes. But we'll see where that goes as well, because there's a shit ton of lawsuits going on right now. So,
yeah. All right, that was this week's Kill Your Normie podcast. This was interesting. We actually had a little bit of a hard time scripting this.
Yeah, we were running by the seat of our pants.
We were running by the seat of our pants. It's been a nuts week. But yeah, so we will see you in a couple of weeks. We actually have no idea what next.
We have no idea.
Episode's gonna be. We haven't had a chance.
It's a surprise.
It's a surprise. You'll be surprised with the rest of us. If you want to find us on social media, so on Instagram it is Kill Your Normie Pod. Ren on Bluesky, what is it?
Kill Your Normie.
Do you not know our handle?
Just Kill Your Normie. Just Kill Your Normie.
It's just Kill Your Normie.
Just Kill Your Normie.
And then we are also on Tumblr at
Kill Your Normie.
Kill Your Normie.
And then I'm available on Tumblr at 2am rainbow-official.
I am on Tumblr and on Instagram at Lindsey Taft Music. You can also find me on Bluesky there. I don't really hang out there though, so
yeah.
If you're looking for that, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm also on YouTube. Haven't posted in a minute.
Yeah.
You can look me up. Yeah, we will see y'all in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Stay cool, guys.